Minutes before the hour, and here you go. Listen up now. Obesity is a disease. That's the word from the American Medical Association, which voted to recognize it as a disease at its annual meeting in Chicago. The AMA joins other organizations that already classify obesity as a disease, including the Food and Drug Administration, the Internal Revenue Service, of all things, and the World Health Organization. The American Medical Association noted that obesity rates in the United States have doubled in the past 20 years for adults, which they have, and tripled for children, and they have. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta, today, nearly 1 in 3 American adults is obese. And in what could be a sign of what's to come, one airline is adding XL class for extra-large folks. It's, of all things, Samoa Air, the same carrier that recently started charging passengers on a pay-by-what-you-weigh basis. Dr. Nina Ratcliffe is a member of the American Medical Association and a board-certified anesthesiologist. She's live with us here in Studio B, which is actually Studio H, but that's another matter. Once you declare something a disease, you have medicalized it.
Exactly.
As you put it, which means?
You're going to treat it with medications, you're going to have surgery. That's what we do as physicians. We treat disease.
But that brings in, there are a lot of things around that. That brings in insurance companies and all kinds of avenues for people to make money.
Yeah. So will now the medications that are treat obesity, will they sit there and have their stock splurge? Will insurance companies now have to cover disease or surgeries like gastric bypass? What will we do with this?
Now, a cynic might say, and I'm not saying this, but I've seen it written today, so you can just sit around and eat Wendy's triples all day and take the escalator and, take a cab a half a mile and I got to pay for you, right? But if you just walk around a little bit and maybe have the grilled chicken, you'd be better off. You wouldn't need that medicine.
Correct. And that's what the concern is that is obesity a lifestyle issue or is it actually a disease? Smoking, as we know, is not a disease in and of itself, but it is a lifestyle choice that can lead to having emphysema or having lung cancer. So that's where the controversy is. It
kind of makes sense that if you smoke, you know the risk. Maybe you ought to pay more. Maybe you ought to have covered less. Would the same follow suit with fat people?
And that's a possibility. Health insurance premiums may go up. There's an increase for airlines that when they fly, if you need 2 seats, people are paying more for it.
All right. Doc, thank you. Weirdness.